Hello all and welcome to tonight's beer review. It's fairly late for me to be doing a beer review, so I'm usually asleep in about 30 minutes, namely 8:30, but I was just sidetracked by a lot of things. So I'm going to dub this a really worst day at work ever review, because that's kind of what it was for me. I'm by surprise at the very end of it. I wasn't fired or anything, but honestly, being fired would be kind of a relief right now, and you know, as much as I talked about when I worked in the restaurant and how difficult it was, and when I was doing contract security and how boring it was, and like now that I got like a career path job of a sort, I just realize I really want to go back to the simplicity and honesty of washing fucking dishes, you know what I mean? So, what's the one beer we're going to be reviewing tonight? And this is going to be a funny one because I'm only drinking one beer tonight. I am just so dead exhausted on my feet. And what are we reviewing? Honolulu Beerworks Cocoweizen Coconut Hefeweizen. So that's kind of a different one in that most of the other local breweries they do release a coconut beer, but it is obviously a dark malt beer. Hefeweizen's not a dark malt beer. How does it work? How does it work with that sort of phenolic yeastiness and what have you? And, you know, that lighter body. How does coconut work with that? How do they make it fit? Well, we're going to find out, right? And so, using the Hefeweizen glass today, I'm going to give this one a nice, fairly vigorous pour. I want a big head on this beer. It doesn't form as large of a head as some Hefeweizen. And I poured it fairly vigorously, as you saw. It's nicely carbonated, clear. See here? Yeah, pretty clear, except for the very top part. So it's clearer than most Hefeweizens. It's this nice light yellow-orange Hefeweizen color, but a little bit less cloudy than most Hefeweizens, with a quickly receding finger's worth of fluffy head. You got that Hefeweizen sort of funk with the yeast, kind of banana-y, very redolent of kind of banana bread. Have some bright lemony notes. And you just kind of have like a vague undertone of coconut there in the smell. Nothing really roasted, nothing like coconut, you know, that sort of grated coconut meat. Just a sort of smell of like coconut water, maybe. And then you sip it, and what a joy on the palate it is. Oh, by the way, this is 5.5 ABV, so slightly heavier than your average Hefeweizen. Now, I'm kind of torn by this because, especially taste-wise, it doesn't really hit, you know, hit the style. And Hefeweizen's one of those ones that I'm pretty strict on style in regards to, because it is such a signature style. But this is, while deviant, it deviates in a way I find delicious and interesting. In the front, you kind of get creamy coconut taste. Coconut meat. Coconut cake almost. Sweet, but not cloyingly so. It's light, like a Hefeweizen should be. Not as carbonated, but the coconut, for some reason, kind of expands it on your... It has this feeling of expanding it on your tongue. It feels very round. The wheat notes are there in the malt, which really does make it seem kind of like a sweet coconut cracker. There are these there's this brand of crackers in Hawaii that are sort of sweet cream crackers, and one of them is a coconut flavor, and this one is very reminiscent of that. It's not cloyingly sweet. It's not like a coconut cookie. It's still a cracker. It's a sweet cracker. The yeast funkiness is there, but not very apparent on the palate. Which is, you know, that's what really kind of strikes me as making it the most deviating. What really strikes me as making it the most deviant away from style profile, in that the yeast flavor should really show up in a Hefeweizen, whereas, you know, it's sort of playing third fiddle to everything else here. You know, the adjuncts and the malts. Kind of hints of banana. Just hints of that, you know, odd phenolic sort of things. Excuse me. Yeah, such a wonderful day, isn't it? I'm sorry you got to see that, but I can't really stop and edit videos very easily. I'm lazy like that. Sorry all 5 of you had to see that. I try to turn around and be quiet as possible. It's not as appealing as it warms up. The coconut's coming a little bit too dominant, but while it was fresh cold, it was truly amazing. Or refreshing, you know, having that sort of aspects of, you know, coconut porter, coconut stout, but in the Hefeweizen form. You know, that sort of taste and tactile elements, creaminess, roundness. I'm not going to say roastedness because it doesn't taste like roasted coconut, but, you know, coconut as an ingredient in a malted product, you know, in a, you know, grain product, and it's very quiet. It's quite interesting. Boy, this is not going into my top 10 reviews. I mean, like, I'm kind of an emotional mess today, and my sinuses are acting up, and great, but I can still smell and taste the beer. This is one of the nice things about being a super taster. It's and I have tried a few cans of this before. So, very different. If you're looking for something that's close to the Hefeweizen style guide points, you're not really going to find it. It's more Hefeweizen-ish, or perhaps Cocoweizen-ish. And yeah, half coconut, half Hefeweizen, which is pretty much a very good explanation of it. So, Honolulu Beerworks. Don't know if they're distributing outside of Hawaii yet. Definitely give it a try if you can. And support local beer wherever you live. And that's your beer review for tonight, folks. To better days and better times. And always, always great beer. Cheers.